Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Loving Julie Reaction. I want us to watch this combination of clips and see how the white Americans are furious because of cost of living has risen and it has become a crisis on their side. Kindly watch these clips till the end and I'll be back with more comments. This video is for education purposes and all credits goes to the original owner of the video.
I'm absolutely heartbroken. Someone's jumped over in the night and put salt all over the land. That means everything I've planted won't grow, and I can't replant on it because it won't grow. So all the hours and hours and hours of work that we've put in is now dead. And they've done it everywhere. How could you do that? Literally. I hope it makes you happy. I really do. Top person. But you know what? You won't stop me, because I'll just pick it all up and I'll carry on. Okay, I can't plant in this section, but I'll carry on. You won't stop me whatsoever.
Living in America is exhausting. You wake up tired, you go to work tired, you come home barely surviving, go to sleep, wake up, go to work, come home, and you're still fucking broke. Every single month, rent's due, rent is through the roof, groceries are double what they used to be just 2 years ago. You go to the gas pump to fill up your car and it's like you paid another car note. Everything, and I mean everything, is up in price. But your paycheck, still the same. And once inflation gets done with it, it's probably even a little less. Yet somehow, they keep telling us, just budget a little bit more. Just work a little bit harder. Like, I'm sorry, how many jobs do I need now? 4? 5? 7? That's not living. That's barely surviving.
We don't live above our means. I don't know what less than paycheck to paycheck is. What is that? Poverty. As a registered nurse, with a husband, with a second income. He doesn't make as much as I do, but he still works.
Okay, so if she's sitting there crying with a husband with a second income in her household, what do y'all think the rest of us are doing? I mean, it's so crazy how she's crying, and I'm just laughing to keep from crying because, baby, life is lifing. 2020 has been something else. But you know what? The reason why I'm not crying is because I have been afforded so many opportunities and I have a chance to keep going. So I sympathize with her. But baby, these 9-to-5s is not cutting it. They're not cutting it for everybody. So even though I feel her pain, you just gonna have to go out and get a second stream of income, baby. That's really it. Your hustle's gonna have to be hustling, because that's really where we at with it. There's really nothing else we can do.
So I'm not really sure how I made it over to the white men crying on video about their finances side of TikTok. But I was over there for a little bit. And at first I was like laughing because it's like FAFO, right? Because like y'all voted for this and now it's affecting you. But then I started to think, like, these are normally the people that and so to see them online in this much disarray where they're on video crying in full tears about their finances and how mad they are. Y'all be safe out here.
In today's economy, do you think a couple that brings home $100,000 is enough to support a small family of like 3 to 4 people? I asked this because I made a post yesterday about how Americans are really struggling, and it was really sad and eye-opening to me to see the amount of people who said, I make 6 figures now, yet we're still struggling. And I don't mean is it enough to buy like luxuries. I just mean, is $100,000 enough to live comfortably without having to live paycheck to paycheck? I remember like 12 years ago, my mom told me about this couple I knew who were making like a combined salary of $110,000. And at that point in my life, 20s, I'm thinking, what a dream, what a goal it was for me to be able to say one day that my husband and I were making like $110,000. And now here I am in 2023, and I'm like, it's not the dream life anymore. Like if someone would have told me my husband and I would be making what we're making and still having to cut back on necessities, I would have been like, you have to be kidding me. Like, we didn't even go on a vacation this year because the last thing I'm going to do is put a vacation on a credit card, but we didn't have extra money to bring our kids on a vacation, and we both have good jobs. So if you think $100,000 is enough, I'm curious, what's your location? Do you not have children? Like, why do you think it's enough? Because I'm telling you from yesterday's post on here, the comments say different, and the comments say that a majority of Americans are really, really struggling, and I mean hardworking Americans. So
real better. It's anything but America first. And now he's going to take away food stamps the whole month of November. And let me tell you what, 1 out of every 5 people that are on food stamps are veterans. They have fought for this country, and President Trump is punishing poor people for the No Kings rally. That's what he's doing. See, President Trump doesn't want to be president anymore. He wants to be the king. He's already established everything that he has to do. And look, you've seen what them young Republicans were writing, and you've seen that guy come out and say, well, this is just what all Republicans do and say behind the scenes. It's no big deal. This is how we all feel. They're all racist, male chauvinist, pedophiles, and now they want us to accept that. Look, President Trump's ratings are dropping like the rent on a burning building. He doesn't care that you don't agree with what he's doing. He's just going to start punishing the poorest of us all. And that's making America great.
Last day in this house here. We are moving out today, January 31st. Finally, I can reveal my address. I don't care if anybody creepy people find it. Fitted RV in there, 2-car garage, 3 bedrooms, new year, new house coming in Europe. So I was paying $2,700 for this, and the next video I'm gonna show a comparison to what I'm getting in Europe for $1,500. It's been a pleasure. Goodbye, Idaho.
I don't understand how I make $34 an hour.
This video is absolutely gut-wrenching. Go watch her whole video, and she is being so raw in her emotions on her frustrations about the fact that she makes $34 an hour, which isn't a bad wage, and simply can't make ends meet. She talks about the fact that she has to buy a loaf of bread and eat toast with peanut butter and make 1 loaf of bread last her a whole week. I feel like so many Canadians are struggling beyond words right now, and it's just absolutely gut-wrenching. So she talks about the fact that she owns a home and her mortgage is coming up for renewal, and she's terrified, right? Because interest rates have skyrocketed, and she has no idea how she's going to be able to afford the increase in her mortgage payments. So there are a few things that you could do in this situation. Now, I don't know her situation specifically, but if you own a home and you have some equity in your home, there are potential solutions. You can look at doing a refinance, which means using the equity in your home. When you do a refinance, you can take the equity out of your home to pay off other debts. Now, there are a lot of debts out there, say vehicle loans that are at higher interest rates, lines of credit, credit card debt that is at higher interest rates than what our mortgages would be. So overall, you do pay less in interest. And at the same time, you can improve your cash flow. She could also look at extending out her amortization. So for example, if you had 12 years left on your mortgage, you can look at extending it to 25 or 30 years, which will counteract that increase in interest rates and make your monthly payment more manageable. Now, I know that a lot of people are going to say, I don't want my mortgage to be another 25 or 30 years. And I fully understand that. But when it comes to only being able to eat peanut butter for breakfast, lunch, and dinner with toast, how is that for your health? You know, you do have to consider so many things outside of what might make the best sense. So by extending your amortization out, you can still pay additional money down. So if you were to get to a place where your monthly debt obligations are now manageable, you're probably going to be able to sleep better at night. If you can eat healthy, nutritious food, I mean, that's just going to help your mood and help you get on with every day. So when you do get on top or back on top of things, you can look to pay additional money down on your mortgage every month to get your amortization back down to a point that you're satisfied with. But it will get you through those tough times if need be. The bottom line is there are always options. Instead of feeling so defeated and overwhelmed, you can reach out, contact people, find out what options you have. Sometimes in life, it takes a step back in order to be able to take some steps forward. And that's life. It's not all roses and unicorns, unfortunately. But knowledge is power. And just knowing what your options are, talking to people, you never know what might help you. So if you do own a home and you're feeling the way that this woman is feeling, reach out to a mortgage broker. It doesn't cost you a thing. And they can let you know if there are any options for you. I mean, at least you're trying to do something about it.
So I just saw a post where a young white woman is upset and crying because she's understanding how easy they have it in China. And she doesn't understand why, as Americans, we have to work so hard just to have so little.
Racism would be the answer. So this all goes back to what they call drained pool politics. Once integration became the law of the land with cases like Brown v. Board, a lot of white people moved to get rid of public services and goods like swimming pools. And that meant they had fewer resources. They had fewer third places. And it was fine back in the day because they would just pay. They would pay to go to country clubs, which is why there's a proliferation of country clubs in this country right now. But they put all those kinds of things that used to be public services behind a paywall because then they could just say, well, you can't pay, or this is a private club. It doesn't matter if you can pay. We're not going to allow you in. It's our choice. It's not a public service. It's not a government run thing. Just so Black people wouldn't have access. But over time, the cost of these services rose higher and higher until most white people cannot afford them. But it's not just that. I mean, this idea goes all the way back to things like Social Security. Do you know white people refused to vote it through back during the New Deal until two groups of people were not eligible? Domestic labor, so that would be like maids, and agriculture workers who didn't own the land. So in other words, if you were a sharecropper, like most black people in the South, or a maid, like the women, you couldn't get Social Security. Once they put those provisions in, all of a sudden, they could have it all day long. White people in this country have always been obsessed with the idea of black people not having things. And that's why they're in the mess that they're in. It's kind of nice to be able to say what I want on here. The reason why countries, the Scandinavian ones, Denmark and Sweden and whatnot, have such great policies is in part because those countries are homogenous, or mostly so. And they're not trying to investigate who's benefiting from the free child care and the universal health care and all that. They are moving on. We could have a great standard of living in this country, but white people are so obsessed, so angry at the idea other people who are not white are going to have that same great standard of living. They would rather live in squalor. It's why the Affordable Health Care Act got gutted. The utter terror that people who don't look like you are going to be able to live decently. What you pay for. I mean, politicians have tried to convince white voters for years. This is in their interest. It was in their interest to not have to pay for these goods and services. And now you fell for it. They convinced you it was communist or socialist to have a decent standard of living, to have the taxes that you pay go to something other than endless war, to actually go towards the maintenance of the nation and making our lives better. But, I hope you enjoy it. Rather than letting everybody have a turn with the ball, you've decided to pop the ball and you're complaining, there's no ball, there's no ball. Indeed, there's not. And if we got a ball tomorrow and you saw the black people and others playing with it, you'd probably pop it again. So there's a direct correlation. It's not that black problems are just starting to suddenly leak over and affect white people. It's that the intentional negative economic and social policies white people put in place to oppress black people have now rebounded on them. Everything people complain about nowadays. How come there are no more third spaces? How come we don't have anywhere to go but work and school? How come we can't afford property? How come this and how come that? All of those have a direct correlation to post-integration policies and choices. Why is college so expensive? Racism. Black people started going and they raised the tuition out of all scope. It used to be practically free to go to school. How come I can't find a decent job? Racism. The minute black people integrated those unions for the factories that had been operating in this nation for decades, and black people could only be non-unionized workers or just unskilled labor, the minute we finally broke into the unions, that is when they began migrating out of cities like Detroit, first into the South for white cities, and then eventually overseas. You thought you were winning. And the hollowing out of Chicago and Detroit and etc. don't just affect black people. The reverberations of that crisis have affected the entire Midwest, and look at the condition of the Rust Belt today. The hole you dig for somebody else will be the one you fall in. That's literally biblical. If people had focused on trying to get the whole standard of living for the country up, even if they had just focused on their own ends, but not tried to punish anyone else, this whole country would be in a better position today. And now look, I hope this serves as a valuable lesson to you. It probably won't. Because that's why the last election went the way it went. They are still trying to convince you somebody else is to blame for the problems that are self-engineered. And they try to convince you that by punishing someone else, the mysterious boogeyman stole your cheese. And if you beat him up, if you cut his wages, if you deport him, you'll get your cheese back. It's not true. This learning curve is getting steeper and steeper, though. I am genuinely interested to see what happens on Red Note next. I think this will be the first time a lot of Americans have unfettered, unpropagandized access to so many citizens from a nation we've been taught is bad. That inherently they're doing things wrong and that they're oppressed and we need to help them and save them. This will be the first time a lot of Americans have that much direct contact. And the puzzle pieces are starting to click into place. This might be the making of something. We will see. That's it. Like and follow for more. As long as you can. I hope it's longer than we think.
Welcome back, and I hope you have watched this combination of clips and you have seen how furious the white Americans are because of cost of living has risen up to an extent that they can't even afford basic needs. They have come out in large numbers, crying and begging for help from the government and from the black people. And what is devastating the white Americans is that there is no even one black American who has come out and begged for help. They are wondering how these black Americans are striving in this harsh economy. They are wondering why these black Americans are silent while they are going through hell. They are wondering how these black Americans have managed to survive in this harsh economy, because they haven't even seen any clip or any black American coming out in the street or coming out on social media to beg for help. They are wondering how these people are surviving in this harsh economy, while us, the white Americans who thought that we have elected this system to punish the black people, we are the ones who are suffering. Now they are furious and are very mad at the black people. They want the black people to come out and join them in begging for help, so that the government can see that their citizens are struggling and suffering. But the black Americans have said that they won't come out and beg for help because they have been struggling and suffering all this while the white people were enjoying their benefits. They have said that they have been struggling for a long period of time, and none of the white people had come to their rescue. Now they want them to face the road that they voted in so badly. We have seen so many clips on social media on how the black Americans are telling the white Americans that they should endure what they wanted. This is what they wanted and they should endure it. They should sit down and find a way or strategy that will make them to survive, because they have learned to survive in any economy or in any condition. They are the ones who voted for racism. Now they are saying that racism is expensive. They are the one who voted for this government to punish the black Americans, but we have seen that the black Americans are striving in this harsh economy. They are flourishing. They are even buying properties in this harsh economy, while the white Americans are losing more money. Others have become bankrupt. Others have lost their lifetime investment. We have seen so many of them coming out and saying that they have lost their farms, they have lost their houses, they have lost their jobs, because where they were employed, now the employer are saying that they don't have money to pay them as employees. Now they have lost their jobs. Others have coming out and crying that they have lost their farms due to the market. They don't have market to take their products. Now their farms have become useless to them. Others are saying that they have crops in their farms, but they don't have people to come and work for their farms. Their crops are rotting in their farms. We have seen so many of them even coming out and burn the crops on their farm because they don't have place to take. They don't have markets, or they don't have place to take their crops. We have seen many of them coming out and crying that they don't even have money to facilitate their living standard. Others are saying that they have lost their families due to lack of finance. They don't have money to finance their families. We have seen many of them coming out crying and begging for help because they can't even afford their basic needs. They can't even afford the grocery to feed their families. Others, they can't even afford the money to pay for their medical bills. They don't have money to pay for their medical covers, to an extent that they are sick but they don't have money to treat themselves. They can't go to hospital due to lack of funds. Others are dying, others are devastated, others have gone to depression because they have lost their livelihood, they have lost their investment of many years. We have seen so many of them coming out, like the MAGA farmers. They have come out in large numbers crying that the government has to end the trade war with China because the China nation have refused to buy their products. Now they don't have money to facilitate their farms. They don't have money to pay their workers because even their workers have left their jobs. Because they voted for this government for deportation. They wanted the black people to be deported back to their countries. They didn't even know that there are some black people who are born there. They have been born there, grew up there, had their families there. Now they want them to be deported back to where they came from. and others, their ancestors have been buried there in the United States. So the black people are wondering, why are these white people so racism? Now they have come to see that the racism is expensive, because what they voted in so badly has come out and turn against them so badly. They are the ones who are coming out in large numbers, crying on social media, begging for help. But we haven't seen even one black American coming out and begging for help. What we have seen is the black Americans have come out laughing to white Americans, and they are telling them that you should endure these struggles, because as the black people, we are enduring this for a long period of time, while you people were enjoying the benefits and you people were laughing, and you didn't come out to help us. You didn't come out to give us a hand of help. Now you want us to come out and help you. How? And you are the ones who voted for this system. You should learn you should learn to live in this harsh economy like us. We have been struggling, we have been flourishing in this harsh economy. Why? Because we knew that from the start, you people voted in for this government to punish us, but now the government is punishing you. The one who you voted in so badly have refused to help you, and he has turned his back against you. Now you want us to come together and help you, but you are the one who ignored our advice, and you voted in for this government to punish us, and you voted in for this government to deport us. Now you want us to come back and help you. We are not coming back to help you. You should learn how to survive in this harsh economy like us. We learn how to survive in this criticism economy for a long period of time. So guys, this video is for education purposes, and this is the first time you have come across my video, please like, share and recommend. Bye bye. See you on my next video. Ciao.